Hi everyone, my name is Becky and I'm currently an Assistant Merchandising Manager, or AMM for short, at Kohl's. I graduated from the University of Michigan in 2018 with a bachelor's in business administration and an emphasis in marketing. So overall I chose business and marketing because I wanted to work in a very collaborative work environment, and especially with marketing there is kind of this duality that exists between on one hand being very creative and strategic, which is very fun, and then on the other hand, being grounded in numbers and data and making data-driven decisions. That kind of brings me into what I'm doing now. I'm an AMM, like I mentioned before, which is not in marketing. It's actually in retail merchandising, but it has all the qualities that I liked about marketing and what I was searching for in my full-time job. So that's kind of what had me decide to go down this career path instead. I started at Kohl's in July 2018 as an analyst, which is the entry-level position to what I am currently. And currently my role, to tell you a little bit about it, is I'm essentially the person that selects the assortment for what's being sold in Kohl's stores nationwide as well as online. And then all the strategies that come with it. So seeing that from start to end, from selecting the items to figuring out, okay, which stores do these go into, how many stores, how many units, for how long are we selling this for, all the way to pricing and promotion, and even how influencing how it'll look once it's actually in stores. So I really love my job. It's very fun. I love that it's within the fashion retail industry and I get to work with the product and keep up with trends, but also work on the strategies and numbers piece of it. In terms of advice I have for recruiting and job search, I think there are four main things I try to keep in mind. The first is networking. This is so important. Utilize the connections that your school has, your peers, your family, and reach out to people in the roles and or companies that you want to, the ones that you could see yourself working in, for like a virtual coffee chat or a phone call. And then ask them for more contacts afterwards so you can continue reaching out to people. Not only is this going to help you become a familiar face and a familiar name to the company when they start recruiting, it also helps you kind of figure out whether you can see yourself in that company, and make sure that you're getting into a company that you feel confident about. I remember I had a phone call with a company that I thought I would have really loved, but by the end of the phone call I kind of figured out like, maybe it's not the best fit for me. So glad to have known that earlier on. So the second one is to stay organized. When I was recruiting, I had an entire spreadsheet recapping the recruiting process. So which companies that I was interested in, what were my contacts there, did I reach out to them yet, did I submit my application, etc., etc. So do what works best for you, but the recruiting process can be really long and messy. So it's always really helpful to be able to find a way to reel it all in. The third one is to follow up, whether it's an informal phone call or especially an interview. It's very important that you follow up, and it does make a lasting impression on the person that you spoke with. Sometimes it can even make or break the impression that you had on them. So on top of that, make sure that your follow-up is meaningful. So you don't have to make it a paragraph, but make sure you're coming back to the key points and key learnings that you had during the conversation you had with them. The fourth and final thing is be genuine. I'm sure everybody says this, but people can really tell when you're being genuine and when you're genuinely curious and authentically excited about the company versus faking it. And this goes both ways too. You're interviewing the companies to see if they're a fit for you just as much as they're interviewing you to see if you're a fit for them. So one last thing to keep in mind is that learning does not end with college. Once you join your full-time job, your company will most likely have opportunities for you to learn more and develop yourself and your skills. So whether that's through classes or trainings or leadership opportunities, etc., look for and jump on those opportunities because that will always set you apart, regardless of what phase in your career you are. Thank you.